Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Demographics are key to business success. Now, I've talked demographics before. I'm gonna tell you what, because I'm been paying attention to like all these retail stores going out of business, all these restaurants going out of business, and people trying to figure. They looking at stuff like, well, they were selling it for too much, or you got the supply chain issue and all of that. Look, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna say they going out of business because the people who supported those businesses, they not buying from those places anymore. Like I noticed, like in my general area where I live, there's a lot of businesses that are opening up, a lot of restaurants that are opening up that are selling like vegan stuff, different things, more stuff that really applies to more progressive type of people. They ain't meat and potatoes type of people, right? Now, is that because the people who were selling stuff, plain stuff like that, were doing poorly? No, not at all. Not at all. The people, they were selling it to the demographics of it. There's been a change I've been noticing just in the area I live in, there's a change in demographics. It's slightly changing, you know? It's slightly changing. So it's like people who would eat more vegan type of food, or, food from, they ain't the meat and potatoes types. In fact, I went somewhere yesterday with my sons, and there was a restaurant that had been open for years. All of a sudden they closed. They're closed. But they were a smokehouse. They were selling like those meats and everything. And I'm like, wait, why are they out of business? It's quite a few out of business. It's just in the area. And I was like, that's on demographics. Like if you get an area, let me I always use a vegan example. I got vegans in the family. Anyway, right? So say you got an area, meat and potatoes types, right? And they supporting the restaurants, but they gradually die out. They gradually move away. All of a sudden you get people who are more vegan who move in. That's a change in demographics right there. That's a change right there. That's all of a sudden you got a different group of people. Like, that's why I say if you want to start a brick and mortar business, always know the area you're going to be in. Know the type of people who are going to be in that area. When I wanted to start, when I first moved to this general area, well over a decade ago, nearly two decades ago, right? And I said, I want to start a bookstore. I'll start with a kiosk and everything. I did a walk through a local mall. I just looked around and said, this ain't going to work for me. This ain't going to work. Not only they had a bookstore, but, I'll be selling, look, let me just be real. I'll bring the race thing in, primarily books by black authors. I didn't see enough black folk. I was like, I don't think it'll work, Ironically, I might be able to, depending on where I sell it, might be able to do that now. Depending on where I sell it, in the area. But at the time, no. I was paying attention to the demographics. See, first you got to think, if you're going to have any business, think about not just you like the business and it's all fun. If you're going to have a brick and mortar business, especially, will the people buy it? Will the people in that area buy it? That's why you need to walk through an area. You need to see who's in that area. Now, if you're going online, even there, that's still demographics. Because then you got to figure out, okay, how can I reach the people who I want to buy these products and everything, Like I remember I was supposedly working with this guy and he started a website and everything. But see, he didn't want to listen when I was trying to tell him about demographics. I was like, hold up, I need to hit these sites and get people to come over here. You know, he wanted to do it totally different. I was like, it don't work that way. You know, you gotta see, you gotta be very specific. That's why you will get businesses, like major businesses, they'll pay 5 figures for a demographics report. Trust me, they pay a lot. They don't just like start up anywhere. Like there was one business that started a grocery store. I ain't gonna give their name, but they started up in the area a few years ago. Nearly a decade ago. But the type of store it was, I was just like, oh, okay. It must be a change in demographics around here. That's when I first noticed, because I noticed the type of store. It was a store that sell like a lot of organic goods and everything. I was like, okay, there's a change around here. Because when you get big businesses, in fact, you can go in any area, you can figure out who's living there just by looking at the stores there. Looking at what's being sold there, what kind of every type of business, like even the gyms, even you can get an idea how much money's being made there, what's being sold in that area, just by looking at the businesses. Because major businesses, when they move into an area, they just don't move. They get an idea who's going to be there, But that's the key. They know the people. Trust me, there's a lot of stuff out there. Even if you can't afford 5 figures, look up stuff on like census stuff. You can find it. Just put in some keywords. Trust me, there's plenty of sites out there. You can at least have an idea who's living in that area. Racially, money-wise, everything. There's a couple of sites out there. So you can oh, okay, I'm selling stuff to this particular group or this particular age group, whatever. Because you have to know that. See, if you having a business, it's never a case of you just start a business and people just show up. You just sit and wait. They might show that on some TV show or some movie or something, but those are TV shows and movies. In the real world, when you set up a business, I don't care where it is, whether it's online or especially if it's brick and mortar, you need to know who's in that area, who would buy stuff from there, take a walk through there. If it's a mall, strip mall, flea market. If you let me use that for an example, because a lot of businesses get started there. If you go to any flea market, just take a walk through, say, oh, who comes through here? What time they come through here? Walk through at different times. What type of people? Oh, okay. I could probably sell this to them, right? But you need to know. You need to know because you need to know what group. You need to know how to find them. Especially if you're online, you need to know how to find them if online. You just need to know where they at, like brick and mortar. Yeah, you might not be able to form that business right next door to you or something. You might have to travel a few miles, whatever you have to do. But they the key demographics. And you got all these people talking about all these businesses going out. I'm like, look at the demographics. Let me give y'all something real quick. Let me just give y'all something real quick. Now, you know what? I'm going to do it next week. All right? I'm going to talk about it next week. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll get back with y'all. All right? And y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.